open up your MTT, and we're going to be talking about different types of polynomials. So we're going to be categorizing polynomials based on the number of terms that they have. So in order to do this, we are going to need to simplify and then identify. So write simplify and then identify. So we're going to look at the first one, 4by plus 2b minus by. So we're going to add a line and change the sign. 4by plus negative by is going to be 3by plus 2b. That's going to be a binomial. The next one is 3x over 7, and so that is going to be a monomial. The next one, we have a negative exponent, so we need to get him positively happy, so this is going to be 5x squared minus 3 over x to the fourth. Remember that this is over 1. The negative exponent is unhappy in the numerator, so we need to move him down to the denominator. Because one of my terms has a variable in the denominator, it is not a polynomial, so it's none. The last one, we need to go through and see if there's any like terms that we can combine. Looking at the 9 minus 3, we can combine that, so it's going to be 2x squared plus 8c plus 6. So that's going to make this a trinomial. Now let's take a look and see if we can figure out how to write a polynomial that would represent the shaded region. So the first thing that we're going to do is write our formulas. So we're going to do the area is equal to length times width. We're going to do the area of the large rectangle. So the length is A and the width is B. And then we're going to do area is equal to length times width of the small triangle. So our length is Y and our width is X. So we're going to go ahead and we're trying to find the shaded region. So we need to take the large triangle, which is AB, and we're going to minus the small triangle, which is XY. So we're going to have a binomial as our answer. All right, let's find the area of the shaded region on this one. So the first thing we're going to do is find the area of a square, which is length times width. Now we know the radius is r, and so we know the distance from the center over here would be r. So that means that the length of the square is going to be 2r, and the width of the square is going to be 2r. So we're going to have area is equal to 2r times 2r. So the area is going to be 4r squared. Area of a circle is pi r squared. Our radius is r. So we already have the area. We don't have to plug anything in. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the square, which is 4r squared, and we're going to minus or cut out the part that's not shaded, which is the circle, which is pi r squared. That's our answer, and that is a binomial. All right, now, how do we figure out the degrees of a polynomial? Well, we have to look at the largest degree of the variables. So, for example, number 7, 3r to the fourth, the degree is going to be 4 because 4 is the largest exponent of the variables in number 7. Let's take a look at the binomial for number 8. In order to find the degree of the monomial, we need to add the two exponents. So the degree for this monomial is going to be 9. The degree for this monomial is going to be 8, and then we pick the largest degree. On number 9, B, the degree for this one is going to be 1, and the degree for this one is 0, so the degree for the polynomial is going to be 1. Now this one doesn't have a variable, but we can make it a variable by writing in x to the 0, and so our degree is going to be 0. Now let's take a look at how to write polynomials in ascending and descending order. Now, they're always going to have to tell you what exponent to, or what variable to use, particularly if you have a polynomial that has more than one variable. So we're using x for the first two examples that we're going to be using. Before we can put them in ascending or descending order, we need to make sure that every single term has an x variable. So this negative 3 is going to have to become negative 3x to the 0 plus 3x cubed minus x squared plus 4x. So now, and that 4x is x to the first power. So now what we can do is put them in ascending order. So that means we're going to go smallest exponent to largest exponent. So it's going to be negative 3x to the 0, and then it's going to be plus 4x, and then it's going to be minus x squared, and then it's going to be plus 3x cubed. So you can see that our exponents are ascending 0, 1, 2, and 3. The next one, we're going to take a look and make sure everybody has an x term. This 14a squared x to the 0 term is going to have to be changed. And so now we're going to look at our smallest exponent of x. So it's going to be 14a squared x to the 0. And now we're going to look for x to the 1, which I don't have. And then we're going to look for, let's see, we're doing ascending order. Okay, so we have x to the 0. We don't have an x to the 1. So the next one is going to be plus ax squared. And then we're going to do plus 10x cubed. And then we're going to do plus 3a squared x to the 4th. So the exponents on the x is ascending. Now we're going to do exactly the same thing, but now we're going to do descending order. So descending order means we're going to start with the largest exponent that we have. So we need to look at 64. So 64 is going to be x to the 0. And this is going to be x to the 1. So now everybody has an x. So we're going to go descending order. So we're going to do 7x cubed. And the next one would be plus x squared. The next one would be minus x to the 1. And then it would be plus 64x to the 0. Let's make that an x. All right, let's look at this one. This is going to be 13x to the 0. And this is going to be x to the 1. And now we're going to find the largest x exponent, which is going to be right here. So it's going to be negative x cubed, y cubed, plus x squared, y squared, plus x, plus 13x to the 0. Now, when we are actually doing the simplifying, we want to go back and take any one of the terms that has the x to the 0 and just write it without the x. So this is going to be negative x cubed, y cubed, plus x squared, y squared, plus x plus 13. This one's going to be 7x cubed plus x squared minus x plus 64. This one is going to be 14a squared plus ax squared plus 10x cubed plus 3x squared x to the 4th. And this last one's going to be negative 3 plus 4x to the 1st minus x squared plus 3x cubed.